All right, another pass rusher became available for the Detroit Lions, and that is T.J. Watt. All right, of the Pittsburgh Steelers, kind of in the predicament that Trey Hendrickson is in. I'm not talking about the. I'm not kind of talking about the trade, where being able to seek a trade. No, but T.J. Watt ended up posting a cryptic Instagram message going into his last year's deal, and he'd be 31 October 11th for this year. Season will already had just started, and at the end of the day, what he and Trey Hendrickson, excuse me, of the Cincinnati Bengals have in common, and they both on the wrong side of 30, or going to be on the wrong side of 30. Dirty 30. They're going to be on the wrong side of it. So, um, Watts, you rarely see players of TJ Watt's caliber going into the last year of their deal without a new deal. Usually that last year deal has minimum guaranteed money. If something happened, they can cut you with no real financial ramifications. Okay. So check out Detroit Lions Talk playlist. Thumbs up the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel. That subscribe button is the bell icon button. Hit all notifications, increase your chance, get notifications. We go live or drop video. So TJ Watt, cryptic Instagram post caused concern over the status of his extension with the Steelers. And the Pittsburgh Steelers pass rusher TJ Watt, I believe I forget. I think it's like something Jordan, but isn't the most outspoken guy as the face of the franchise. Watt is always willing to represent the team well, offer a quote, but not the type that ruffle feathers. And like I said, when it comes to this, sometimes, I know a lot of people, like to take the humble approach. And at the end of the day, sometimes, there has to be a point where you have to get a little bit ignorant. Hate to say that. You have to get a little bit ignorant. And, you can't just continue um to be this nice guy. These people in business will take advantage of it. Sometimes you got to speak up. Sometimes you got to pop out and show it. Ninja, my Kendrick voice, no Diddy. That's why a crypto Instagram post from Watt is causing some NFL analysts to raise their eyebrow. This post of a picture of Watt holding the peace sign with no text of Wednesday night. Watt has not commented on the image. So that's him holding the peace sign up. So that's why the crypto Instagram post from Watt is called something. Okay, on the surface, the picture could mean anything or nothing. It seems foolish to read too much social media habits of an athlete start. Not in today's society. Turns out Watt may have actually sent a message with the post, according to Steelers beat writer Mark Caboli. After speaking with some people, Caboli, hopefully I'm saying his name right, Cabali, whatever. Believes Watt picture indicates his extension talks with the Steelers aren't going as smooth as suspected. After talking to some people, I'd keep an eye on the Steelers' TJ Watt contract situation moving forward a little more closely. It doesn't appear that the IG picture below he posted yesterday was just by chance. I'd imagine the extension is still going to eventually get done, but whatever. I don't know what else he says. I'll tell you what he said. Do, 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 do. Whenever it pops up. Uh, I'd imagine Station is still going to happen eventually, but the price tag just might be a tad bit higher than some anticipated. What you seen with Miles Garrett got, you know. So at the end of the day, he could be available. Obviously, the concern is, you hear some talk about Purdy for T.J. Watt, and then the Niners would draft, Shador Sanders or another quarterback, whatever. Um, I mean, honestly, about that trade, I don't know. I don't know if Purdy would be good in Pittsburgh. That warm weather in Northern California and everything going on. So I don't know how he would do in Pittsburgh. And would that legitimately translate to success? Would that legitimately transfer into success? Um, you know, for him. So that's pretty much what I'm saying. So I don't legitimately know. So, but TJ Watt, with the 49ers, who cleared out a lot of space for Brock Purdy's arrival, got rid of a lot of guys. But they come in and say, well, okay, Shador Sanders, guess what? We got Shador. Now we can pay and get some more talent because he's on a rookie deal or another quarterback around him. That may make sense. You know, get more guys, spend a little bit more money, pay TJ Watt. I don't think he's going to get this 5-year deal where, he's going to be, balling. I don't think he's going to get the deal that he thinks he's going to get. You know, at the wrong, you'd be 31. So, I mean, honestly, not from the Lions' perspective, I mean, you in a win now situation. So, I mean, whatever, for the most part, whatever Trey Hendrickson is looking for, he looking around 30, 35. Watt going to be looking around 40, 45. Now, maybe it's not about the money because they was willing to do a deal allegedly since the trade deadline last year with Myles Garrett. Garrett is a little bit younger too. You know, so and maybe they might look at TJ Watt in that same area. But my thing is this: will he get caught up on the number of years? Will he get caught up on the number of years? So if they go 40, 43 million a year for 3 years, would that be good enough? And then, all the time you spend that type of money on a guy that's that old, I think then that that raises some suspicions. What if he fall off? He get injured. I mean, I feel like if you can just get one good year, you can win the Super Bowl with him. I mean, I get it, but then you win, him versus guys that you can get in the draft and develop at a cheaper option. So, I mean, I don't know. That's a very, very interesting question. Obviously, it's an intriguing question. You plug them in there with Aiden Hutchinson. I mean, it's an elite, and you got to pay Aiden Hutchinson. At the end of the day, you got to find ways to pay guys. That's why it's ways to manipulate the cap. The Eagles do it the best. Lions have manipulated the cap with a few contracts. So right now, it's a short-term thing. I think they're looking for more of a long-term answer, and they're weighing their options. But I think T.J. Watt to Detroit, that'd be interesting. That'd be a huge splash, and expectations will go through the roof. But as we coming up on draft day, if he make it past draft day without a new deal, then eventually they will get a new deal. I think we all understand that. But if draft day come, people gonna be on high alert. Will he get dealt? What would it take for the Lions to get him one last year deal? Will it just take that for the end of the first or second round pick to grab him? That's the question. It might not take as much as people think, but we can pull up his numbers real quick and see what it is. But it's going to be interesting. So let me pull his numbers up. If there any slippage, they ain't had a quarterback, and that's their biggest issue. So it's Trent Jordan Watt. So that's what TJ stands for, Trent Jordan Watt. So pulling up these numbers. He had 11.5 sacks last year. He played 17 games the last 2 seasons. 15, 16, 16, and 16. So he's been fairly healthy his whole career. I think he had a little hiccup in 2022. He's been Pro Bowling every year except for his rookie year. 7 sacks his rookie year. Second year, 13, 14 and a half, followed by 15, followed by 22 and a half, 5.5 in that year. That was cut short, 19 and 17. 19 a year before last season, 11 and a half. So, I think it might be too rich for the Lions' blood. It might be too risky as well, too. But, I mean, shit, if you can add them to your team, you can get that one Super Bowl. I think that's what you're looking for. But we done seen coaches win a Super Bowl and get fired when everything started crumbling. Look at Mike Malone in Denver. So that's another thing to look at. So, yep. We done seen, guys get to the mountaintop and, as soon as they flip the page the next year, Doug Peterson, or what was his name from Philly, was gone. They ain't showing no loyalty to none of these coaches. So they won the Super Bowl, and then it's like, okay, you haven't won one in 1 or 2 seasons. What have you done for me lately? So, that's the cold part. It's the cold world. Let me know what you girls and guys think. Thumbs up the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel, hit the link in the description, follow me on X, Instagram, Spotify, Anchor, Cash App, Venmo, PayPal, Amazon, Kick, Twitch, the whole nine. Hit the link in the description. Join the Patreon. Appreciate the love, support. Peace.